Welcome back up close on MSNBC. Congress is back in Washington today after the holiday recess, and topping the agenda, David, health care reform.
That's right, and waiting to greet them on Capitol Hill, hundreds of lobbyists who, according to the Washington Post, are spending over $1.4 million a day. Many of those now lobbying for insurance companies and hospitals are former lawmakers who are hoping to influence the final outcome, and that is at the heart of today's close-up. Senator Thomas Carper is a Democrat from Delaware and a member of the Senate Finance Committee. And Senator Carper, first to clarify, you said that a public option a couple of weeks ago would be too expensive. Now that a key Senate committee says it would only be about $600 billion, has your position changed?
No, I don't believe I said that it would be too expensive. What I've said is we need something to keep the feet of the private sector to the fire. When we adopted a Medicare Part D prescription drug program about 5 years ago, we provided for a public plan, a public option. We made it a fallback in case the private sector, in case market forces didn't do the job. So what I've suggested, along with Olympia Snow and some others, is we have a fallback plan as a public option. There are other approaches. Senator Ken Conrad of North Dakota suggested that we have as an option to the private plan something called a cooperative. And there's one very successful one out in Seattle called the Puget Sound Cooperative. It's not a private company. Basically it's member-owned, member-run. And so there's several different options here.
Yes or no first. Are you supportive of a public plan, or are you against it?
I think there could be a public plan as a fallback. States could have their own public plans. There could be regional public plans.
That's a totally reasonable position as a fallback. But here's the issue that I think the Washington Post got to today, which a lot of people are concerned about. If you look at the amount of money, according to OpenSecrets.org, the amount of money that you've gotten from insurance companies in this election cycle, the 2010 election cycle, $223,000. From pharmaceuticals and healthcare products, $122,000. Why shouldn't people believe that your decision to say a public option as a backup plan, why shouldn't people believe that it's been influenced by the money you've gotten from the insurance companies and from pharmaceuticals who don't want a backup plan, who don't want a public option at all, or a backup plan as a worst-case scenario?
Well, at the end of the day, I want us to pass a bill. I want us to pass a good bill. I want us to pass a bill that will actually reduce the growth in health care costs and make it available to a lot of people who don't have health care. At the end of the day, we have a lot of people who say, I won't vote for health care reform unless it has a public option. There are others who say, I won't vote for it if it does. At the end of the day, there are more important things in the bill than whether or not we have a public plan or a public option. I think the idea of what we did in the Medicare Part D plan, where we have a fallback plan on the shelf ready to pull out if we need it in order to make sure market forces are working, that seems to me to be a perfectly good option.
But, Senator, you're under a lot of pressure. Wouldn't you acknowledge from the insurance companies with all the money they've given you?
I don't feel a lot of pressure at all. The most effective lobbyists for me, I've been governor, I've been congressman, I've been state treasurer, now I'm the senator. The most effective lobbyists for me in everything I've ever done are actually people from Delaware that I know, that I trust, who talk to me in all kinds of parades all over my state this last 4th of July weekend. And people that call my office, mostly from Delaware, that have a view, some for public plans, some against it. What we need to do, we need to make sure that what's been going on, which we pay more money for health care than any country on earth, we don't get better results. 14,000 people will lose their health care coverage today. We have 47 million people who don't have any health care coverage at all. We could do better than that. I think the best way to do it is to develop a bipartisan plan. It's what the president wants. It's what I want. It's what my chairman wants, Max Baucus. My hope is that's what we get done. That's what can be passed and signed into law.
Senator Thomas Carper, Democrat from Delaware, member of the Senate Finance Committee. Senator, good of you to join us today and to take on these questions. We appreciate it.
Interesting interview. Great interview, David. Up next.